What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is every mod installed on my Mk1 Audi TT. If you've been around for a while, you may remember that we made this same video about a year ago. The car has come a long way since then. I thought that now was just a good time to remake the same video, pretty much just update anybody who's new here on the current state of the car. The reason why I think now is a good time is because my Mk1 Audi TT is pretty much about as far as you can take the stock engine and turbocharger. So this is pretty much like your, I don't want to say it, but like your full stage 1 or stage 2 maybe, I don't know. Maybe full bolt-on, I guess. I don't know, whatever. As you guys know, I've got some videos already uploaded about my plans to go big turbo. Yeah, I basically wanted to make this video to update on, the current state of the car, everything I've done to it to get to this point. I have now been on YouTube for over a year. We've gained over 830 subscribers in our year on YouTube. The channel's come a long way. The car's come a long way. I think there's still a long way to go for both. Stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. We're gonna start here in the engine bay. When I first got my car, it had all the usual vacuum leaks, the PCV was falling apart, all that stuff. So the first mod that I did is deleted the PCV, deleted the N249, the N112, the SAI. I deleted that all at the same time and put in all of these hoses. So we got TT Racing boost hose. These are also part of the TT Racing kit, these three. This is the tip, the red tip turbo intake pipe, got it off eBay, and then, just vacuum hoses to replace. This was like the first maintenance I'd done to the car, and what had led me to do all of this was just discovering that I had vacuum leaks. One other maintenance item that I had done at that time was the valve cover gasket, spark plugs, and red top coil pack conversion from Euro Tuning. So I had done all of that at the same time. That was like the first stretch of maintenance I'd done to this car. So, new spark plugs, fixed the valve cover leak, new coil packs, install the catch can, fix all the leaks, all that stuff. This is the second revision of my catch can. I have a whole video addressing the catch can and all that, so I'll put that video on the screen. And in here you can see I have my a billet PCV check valve. This is a Spragley STX enclosed cold air intake, so that's like a true aftermarket cold air intake solution. Another mod that I had installed at that time is our billet diverter valve from 034 Motorsports. The spark plugs we are running are the NGK BKR7E copper plugs. It's pretty much what's recommended for any tuned 1.8T. I almost forgot, but way back there on our, you're not gonna be able to see it with everything installed, we've got a Mamba Tech adjustable wastegate actuator, and it's at the stock setting at 0.8 bar. That's all that's needed to take the stock 1.8T and KO4 package pretty much to its limits on the stock motor. I installed this Mishimoto Z-Line front mount intercooler. I got the intercooler off Facebook Marketplace, and I got all the clamps and couplers and the pipes off of eBay. I had installed this boost gauge, and then I got this steering wheel for Christmas from my mom, so I had installed that as well. Another mod that I had gotten installed, I did not do this one myself. At the time, I thought it was just above my head. I took it to my buddy's shop, JE Service Center in Torrington, Connecticut, and got a 3-inch catless downpipe installed. When I got my downpipe done, at the same time, I also got the full timing service done, also done by my buddy Steve, the owner of JE Service Center over in Torrington, Connecticut. So I dropped the car off, got the 3-inch downpipe installed. I also got the timing belt, timing chain, all the tensioners, everything, the full timing service, full shebang done. We did a wideband ECU swap. That's one of my biggest videos on the channel to date. Definitely check that video out if you haven't seen it. So this is a narrowband 2002 AMU engine code TT225, and it has a 2004 BEA engine code. Wideband ECU installed with the wideband oxygen sensor. It's all wired into the ECU harness. We have to redo the entire fuel system. So back here underneath all the nonsense and all the junk I got in the back seat, we have a Cytec 378 liter per hour fuel pump. That thing was a pain to install. I had some issues with it, so I had to remove it and install it 2 or 3 times. Hope I never have to do it again. We got Bosch 550cc injectors in there, along with a Bosch 4-bar fuel pressure regulator. We have to beef up the fuel system to handle the power. Everything I have done to the fuel system is done so it can handle a lot more power than it's currently making. You know, the fueling needs for our power goals long term with this car, which we'll discuss later. We then got the car tuned with VW Holics, and man, was that a blast. I mean, the car had come so far. When I had first got it, it had a bunch of vacuum leaks. The valve cover was leaking as well, and it would misfire, it wouldn't boost, had a bunch of problems, and it went from barely making any power, barely being roadworthy, to making around 290 horsepower and being a whole lot of fun. But we weren't done yet, and there were still a bunch of issues that had yet to be solved and that I had yet to even experience. Once all that was done and I had the car running smoothly, I decided that it was time to tackle some suspension issues. The first thing that I did is I installed polyurethane inserts into my dog bone mount. My dog bone mount was worn, and you know, the engine was rocking back and forth crazy when I put my foot down on the clutch. So got my hands on the Bilstein B12 Cup suspension kit, a nice find off of Facebook Marketplace. And I went ahead and installed that whole kit. After I was finished with that, I realized I still had some excessive rear camber issues in the rear wheels. They were kind of, you know, tilted. So what I did then is I installed the Megan Racing adjustable rear control arms. I had 4 of them, upper and lower for each side. I also did the rear trailing arm bushings. I replaced them with PowerFlex Black Series polyurethane bushings. During that period, I also had installed a new set of stock front control arms onto the car, new tie rod ends as well. Through, you know, my ownership journey with the Mk1 Audi TT here, I've experienced a lot of common issues. One of those issues being this fuse box melting down. You can see here I've got, you know, kind of wires all over the place here and stuff. Basically, this was my solution to the alternator wire constantly melting my fuse box down. This solution has been working for me for the past couple months with 0 issues, so I absolutely can recommend it, and it's withstanding the test of time. I'm no longer having all the issues I was experiencing, so having these inline fuses and taking the alternator off of the fuse box, slots for 2 wires here that aren't there. That's for the alternator and the interior fuse box. Rather than being ran through this crappy little fuse box, they have their own massive inline fuses ran directly off the battery. I also replaced the alternator wiring harness. I replaced that like a million times because of all the problems I had before I finally found this solution. We replaced the crankshaft position sensor. We replaced the camshaft position sensor that lives underneath this. I noticed that even with my polyurethane dog bone mount, that my engine still was rocking around quite a bit. So then we moved on to doing our own $10 polyurethane motor mounts. So basically I took the stock motor mounts out, filled them all up with polyurethane, let it harden, and put them back in. It's been months at this point and they are still working perfect. They are still solid, no issues. So I can also recommend that cheap mod as well. Another set of mods that was a complete game changer for this car was doing my complete shifter overhaul. And what I mean by that is, down in here we have got a short shifter arm. I believe that's from Jack Spania. We've got the solid cable ends as well, so that reduces the throw and the slop. And then inside the car here, we did the full Diesel Geek Mark IV Deluxe shifter bushing kit. That shifter bushing kit, along with the solid motor mounts, the solid dog bone mount, this car, it shifts so much smoother, more predictably. I feel like I can shift it harder and faster. Makes the car feel faster and more fun. We also replaced our coolant temp sensor. And yes, here's another point. If you can see, that is an aluminum flange on the side of the block that the temp sensor's in. I had a coolant leak, so I went ahead and got the aftermarket aluminum flange so we never have problems again, and I haven't had one since. If you guys can see in there, hopefully there's you can see the SAI block off plate like right there. And while we're discussing maintenance I've done to this car, I replaced every wheel speed sensor on this car. I also replaced the level sensors. I also had to get VCDS for that process as well. If you don't have VCDS yet, I 100% recommend it. There are certain things, certain codes, modules you can't reset without it. So, you know, if you plan on owning and modifying one of these cars long term, it is a necessity. I mainly wanted to make this video as an update to the last time. You know, this car has come a long way even since my last update video. I think I made the same video over a year ago, and at that point I had owned the car for a year, but it's made so much progress since then. And you know, I want to make this video because this is pretty much the landing point for this car in stock form. There's really nothing else to do to this car other than, you know, some cosmetic stuff and maybe some more maintenance. But this is as far as you can take the stock car. So this is a good point to update you guys, show you guys everything I've done, you know, before we continue to take our next steps on our build. And on that note, if you are new here, I have a spare motor that I'm building for this car. We've got forged rods and pistons from Spa Turbo. We've got a built head with pretty much SuperTech's entire catalog. I've got many parts you guys haven't seen. I'm not going to show them in this video, but I'll list them off quick. I've got a G25 660 turbocharger. You guys have already seen that. Other parts you guys haven't seen, I mean, man, I can go on and on and on. Pretty much all the hardware, all of the bearings I'm going to need. Yeah, the exhaust manifold, turbo studs, a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to be addressing that in a video coming up soon. Well, if you're interested in seeing the car go from its stock form to where it's at now, go check out my old videos. But if you're interested in keeping up with the build and watching this turn into, you know, a mid 400 horsepower big turbo all-wheel drive street monster, hit that subscribe button because we've got pretty much all of the parts to get it done. It's just a matter of, you know, me ponying up some money at the machine shop, putting in the hours at the shop, and getting it done. So absolutely hit that subscribe button. This car has come a long way, but it's still got a long way to go, and I'm really excited about that. So hit that subscribe button. We'll do a little teaser about our next video. As you guys know, as everybody knows, I have a 3-inch catless downpipe on this car. That's a problem because I just got my emissions notice in the mail. So our next video is going to be tackling the emissions test, getting this car passed so it can stay registered and on the road. And then from there, I got some big turbo videos coming, some engine build videos coming. I've been working hard behind the scenes, so hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you enjoyed, let me know what you want to see. Yeah, so that's pretty much the current state of this car. Now, if you've seen other videos on my channel, you know we're not done. There is still a lot to be done to this car as we have big plans. I am already in the process of building a motor for this car. I've already got a bigger turbo, pretty much all of the parts. I just need a few odds and ends. There's still a lot of work to be done, but yeah, there's still a long way to go for this car. So if you're interested in this car, this platform, me, my channel, the videos, absolutely hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. While we're on the topic of future plans here, I wanted to point out some cosmetic issues on my car. You know, to this point, I really haven't fixed any cosmetic issues. As you guys can see, you know, my rims have seen better days. I've even got some body damage here on the bottom sills. You know, there's plenty of little like paint marks like this. My roof is faded. My back lip is faded. You know, I've got damage to other wheels. There's some damage to the bottom of the sill on this side as well, to the rocker panels. I mean, and this rim, this one was curbed. So, oh yeah, and then there's some like paint chips and stuff. You can see I've even got like a little bit of rust starting. So yeah, other than my big turbo goals here, you know, we're still gonna be doing other stuff to the car. I wanna do like a rear seat delete. I wanna fix my boost gauge. You know, I may put new wheels on it or refurbish these ones. I gotta do some paint and body work. The clear coat on my headlights are peeling so bad. It was like just barely anything when I first got the cars, and the last 2 years have been pretty rough to this thing. I mean, I've done a lot of work to this car. I've broken a lot of stuff. I've beat it up a lot. So we're gonna have to keep fixing things and learning new things along the way. That's what it's about. So yeah, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.